Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
This is, episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
I was curious. I heard that you were an F1 fan.
Yes, yeah, a big F1 fan.
Do you have any favorite like racing companies or?
So I like drivers. The companies, they're all really great. I mean, they're at a level. It's business, engineering, science level. That's amazing. I really like Max Verstappen. He's one of the top drivers. He drives for Red Bull, and Lando Norris, who drives with I call it the Google car, but the Chrome car, but it's the McLaren team really is his thing. So McLaren does a phenomenal job. I like they don't win a huge amount, but I like the Aston Martin team. They're just class, man. All the way from their engineering to their pit crew to their drivers. They're just absolute class. And then I pull for Williams. So that's how my entry into this is. When I was at Compaq and HP, I worked in the group that had the telemetry tracking, and so they were using the Compaq Impresarios back in the day to do the telemetry tracking when Compaq had a car in the 90s, and Schumacher rather was our driver. Michael, not Ralph, right? His brother. So since then, since the 90s, I've had a little love affair with F1, and we're working on projects now and with STEM. So that's one of the things we're working on is how to teach kids STEM principles through F1, right? The aerodynamics, the making, manufacturing of parts and cars is a huge employment opportunity for kids in the U.S. And it's just opening up for us in the U.S., right? It's big in Europe, but we don't.
Right. It's new.
It's new for us. We're going to have Cadillac coming out next year, so we'll have a Cadillac car out on F1, and then we'll have it's going to run on a Renault engine, which would be interesting. So Renault got out of it. They have the engine that Cadillac is going to use, and they're changing the parameters of the formula. So where you've seen the bigger, longer cars, they're going to be narrow now.
Okay.
And they're going to get rid of their drag coefficients, which is going to allow for more passing. So I think you're going to see a more interesting racing. What tends to happen, what people kind of knock on Formula One, is if you get the pole position, you're a good driver. You can kind of ride from start, from pole to finish, which is what's happened in the last couple of races.
Is there a lot of movement with the drivers and the teams and companies, or?
So yeah, there's constantly. It's funny because literally the idea of formula is not the not the fuel or anything, right? It's literally you get these parameters from the FIA, which is the governing body, and this is what you have to put your cars. Very similar to stock racing, right? Here's a set of parameters. Here's what your car can do. But what you see a lot of is the engineering, which is what makes it so great. You see engineering people will try a bunch of little different things to try to get that drop, right? So everything on when you're going through turns, the chicane, it's to get that downforce so you can stick the car to the ground to get that and then speed away on this truck. Right now, it's very difficult to go because the cars are so long and so big, and then you get dirty air, which comes out from the foils in the front and in the back. So it's pushing on it, right? So unlike NASCAR where you can draft, it's more difficult to draft. So these new specs are going to allow, I think, better drafting. And so it's going to be, I think, a little bit more exciting in terms of positioning. The teams stay pretty static, right? So you don't see a lot of trading in and out of drivers. You have some mature drivers like Lewis Hamilton. He's a legend. He's still out there. He drives for Ferrari. Then you got these kids, man. I'm 55, man. I look at these the kids. They started kart racing, right? And they're young, And so they're not going in. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, they're going to be there as long as they produce, they stay.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I saw the F1 movie a few weeks ago. Have you seen that one?
I have not
yet?
seen that yet. Yeah,
Okay.
my dad and I are scheduled to go see that together.
Okay, no spoilers. But I was just kind of curious about the rules and stuff because it seems like I don't know, maybe Hollywood kind of took a lot of liberal or they just kind of went fiction with it.
Yeah, and it does, right? I mean, because it's a lot. So you'll appreciate this. It's a lot like baseball, right? So my daughters cannot watch baseball. It kills me. But a lot goes on in baseball. But if you don't know what's going on, it can appear boring. And I think sometimes what happens, with movies is obviously you got to keep the action going. But there's a lot going on in the car. You got people talking in your ear. You're worried about tires. You're worried about the other team. You got about 20 people sitting in a pit with telemetry looking at everything from temperature on the track to the tires to the fuel consumption. Everything is monitored, not only at the track, but you got people monitoring back at the headquarters. So there's so much going on that makes it a phenomenal thing to watch when you understand what's happening, especially with the external environment things that are happening with the tire. The tires things are amazing. People think, oh, why are you into tires? But the tires are really amazing. They have these matched set of tires. There's only so many you can use. Is it raining? Is it hot? Is it cold? And all of that affects the race and the drivers, and they're constantly fooling.
They do. There is a part where they kind of talk about the tires in the film.
Okay,
so
good. Well, they should cover that. It's a big deal. Tires are a big deal.
What dictates when to use certain tires?
So mostly the environment. So they'll go out on Thursdays, and there's the track days where they do the qualifying, and then or on Fridays, and then Saturdays they'll do some test runs. Most of the time, what they do is obviously the point is to get as much tire on the ground, right? So the whole thing about the aerodynamics is getting as much tire on the ground so you can get as much grip, so you can corner and you can go out on the straightaways. The temperatures make a big deal because, like, if you're in Spain or if you're out in Monaco, those are vastly different, right? And so the asphalt reacts differently, and so the tires are matched for the environments. And so what the FIA allows you to do is it says, okay, here are these conditions, here are these set of tires, and it's very specific. And so now it's just a matter of, okay, when we put these on, when do we change them, and then of course rain throws everything off. That's rain is a big, huge factor in that. But the interesting thing also about the tires is they never throw them away. So they analyze them, and you'll see, like, if you look up at any close-up shots after that, you'll see the tires are just marked up, right? It's not like ours where you have these sort of even wears and it goes down, right? These are flat, but it's all marked up, and you can see kind of what was happening. If it was like a Monaco, which has a lot of turns, a lot of chicanes, you'll see these wearing patterns, right, to the inside. Or if it's just a lot of straightaways, it's just this weird. It's just fascinating. it's dorky science stuff, but it's fascinating.
It looks like they're solid then, or
no? They're rubbery. So Pirelli is the preferred tire. They are the tire maker. So before you'd have Goodyear or other people in there, but Pirelli is the tire maker for F1. So what happens is that it's not like an inner tube like ours is, right? So it does have thick layers, and they're not steel belted. They're just pure rubber, and there's just one single bolt that's about this big to try to get in. And so it's funny because I can't remember the team, but one of the team has a female in it, and it's a big deal because she's like super athletic, and you have like basically a split second to get this thing into this tiny yeah, into the tiny old undo it, put a new one on, snap it on. So yeah, I mean the tire science is a huge thing for them.
I seen it. And don't they try to keep it under a minute whenever they're changing the tire?
Faster,
Faster than that?
faster. Yeah, I mean they come in, boom, done. I mean it's craziness.
Who decides when to change the tires? Does the driver have a say in it?
So the driver does have a say. Mostly the pit team, right? They're monitoring, so they're looking at the temperature. But the driver will say, "Hey, I'm sliding a little bit," or "This is happening here. This is happening there," and they'll try to not. I mean, obviously, anytime you pit, like that's across any racing, right? You lose time, so they try not to do that, right? But there's some times where you're just gonna have to.
You're gonna have to do it.
You're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially and these aren't super long races, right? So comparatively to like obviously Le Mans 24-hour or NASCAR where you're going 100 and something like that. These are about 70 laps, which seems like a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah.
And so the tire wear and all the things that are going on with the car, sometimes. What's always fascinating to me is the various courses. Some courses are road courses, right? So it's the same asphalt as you could go and drive now, but some of them are stadium racetracks, right? So we see that at the Circuit of America in Austin, where it's a stadium racetrack, and that's a different set of strategies that the team and the driver will use to win.
Could F1 be compared to maybe like FIFA soccer because it's global? Like, is it the highest level of racing?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has the same governing body sort of mindset, but yeah, I mean, it's very European, right? Very European. And one of the reasons why we haven't had a team in there for a long time was because the front running team was Michael Andretti, and the Europeans did not like Mr. Andretti.
Hey, I was gonna ask, do you feel like F1 and NASCAR could ever race together? Do you feel like in a racetrack, or would it be too? Since the cars are the structure.
So different.
Yeah.
So different. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and not taking away from NASCAR. I mean, it's incredible what they do. Is you're going around a circle to the left or to the right. I think just in terms of pure drivers. F1 drivers are they had that what was it Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. They had Sachin Baron-Cohen, right? He came over from F1 to drive into NASCAR, but that's about right? So they're spoofing it, but he's drinking his tea. It's a different mindset. Yeah, I mean these guys when they're training. They use actually some technology that Jamiron and I are into, which is a virtual reality training that helps them to get a better feel for a course. They'll run through the course in these simulators, but they also do hand-eye coordination things, right? It's like a giant table of Simon. You remember Simon when you had the
the light game.
The light game, yeah, and they do that because their reaction time has to be super quick, and not that doesn't happen in NASCAR, but not at the level. And
it's more technology.
Yeah, it's more. There's a lot going on. You should see there's no the steering wheel. It's like a pilot for a plane. I mean, there's like 15 buttons, 20 buttons on there. You paddle, steering. I mean, it's craziness.
Yeah.
So they're watching from the pit crew, but then also like the racing headquarters, I guess. They have like a whole wall of TVs.
Oh yeah. It's like Mission Control here in Houston. I mean, they're watching everything. They're watching weather patterns come in. They're watching again the telemetries on the track and on the car, and they're sending instructions down to the crews. It's I want to say average team's about almost 1,000 people that are working at one time between the drivers, the pit crew, the telemetry people, the people back in the mission control, as they call it. It's a lot.
Yeah, how are they able to like affect anything from inside the car, from like the headquarters, or is that all the
That's a
driver?
good question. I mostly it's the driver. I think everything else is sensors and strategy, right? So one of the things that's interesting is that there's literally, so when we're watching football, right? We'll say, oh, okay, here's this replay, or it'd be like, oh, this guy runs this route, right? This is the same route as he ran against it, right? They literally do that. So where you're in a position, let's say, Verstappen and Lando Norris or Lewis Hamilton is in a position, they'll go back through and find how they maneuver through certain courses. And they'll go, hey, he likes to go high, or he's going to go to the inside, or he's going to cut through here. And they constantly talking to the guys in the air. Oh, here he's coming up, and analyzing, looking at the ways to win. It's so high dollar, though. That's the thing. I mean, it's billions of dollars running into these cars. I mean, the cars are millions of dollars to make. Yeah. And then just the money from sponsorships are just it's more than a sticker. It's a lifestyle for these people.
Has there been anyone who's moved from F1 to NASCAR, like in the Ricky Bobby movie?
I don't think so. We've seen more Indy back in the day in the 80s, where you saw kind of Indy cars are our closest open wheel. So closed wheel and open wheel are different racing. And so you really will see a jump. Well, now Andretti's did it, and when we had very short-lived. But yeah, you usually don't see that in the NASCAR part. I think that was part of the funny spoof.
The Andretti's place, does he own that? The Andretti's kind of?
Yeah. So I mean, he's obviously their royalty, right, in racing in America, IndyCar, and other things, and but sort of typical European thing. I mean, they, you as Americans, you can't come in being the ugly American, right. And Michael was the ugly American, which is why they shut him out, because they had him tabbed with Cadillac, and the best thing that happened is when he sort of bowed out, he says, no, okay, I'm going to step down from the board here on the American racing and F1, and then as soon as he did that, the FIA governing body said, okay, we're good. You guys good to go racing 2026.
Interesting. We're at about the 5-minute mark. So was there anything that you wanted to say to the audience or direct them to talk about your fandom of sports or anything like that?
Well, a couple things. One, just shout out to the families and the people affected by the flood. That's a horrendous thing. Being a dad of two girls, having that girls camp, Camp Mystic, out in Kerrville. This is a super tragedy. So just kind of want to shout out to those families dealing with that tragedy. Some still don't know, where their kids are, and then of course the hundreds of search and rescue people that are there working day and night to find the kids. And then sports has always been a passion of mine. I was telling Jamarian, so I came into sports super early on, and a friend of mine, we used to help Texas high school football.com. So we helped develop their site and really get Texas sports going. Dave Campbell, as you know, was kind of the godfather of that, and Texas high school football was really making a good run to try to provide some other services in that. And then my other passionate thing, and we don't have time, because I told him, I said, hey, this I could take up a whole show. Sure, yeah. Is the you have to have me back on it.
Of course.
Is the Group of Five. What to do about the Power Five college football and the Group of Five, and what is happening. And it is a mess, and I think I have a solution for it.
Okay, you guys will find out on the next episode what that solution is, for sure. But that's the end of our show. We appreciate you, Mr. Dave Lopez.
Thank you so much, you guys. Y'all are great. I've been following you. Love it. Thank you.
He will be back on the show. We'll follow up with you guys definitely on college football and just everything. And we hope you guys enjoyed today's show. But as always, I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James Sherwitz.
And y'all just got started with J&J Sports, episode 113. See you later.
J&J Sports.
Coming to y'all live in 2025.